Lived experiences is bringing a new social innovation program into the community. Something that's really unheard of, that we really need in our community. I started this program because of my own experience in life. And I wasn't educated. I was very disconnected from my own family, from my own community, and even from the whole system itself, Oceanside itself. The whole idea is to bring as much wonderful people together, to really have a support system for not only our youth, but also our homeless people, or just our working families itself. I'm on a mission to educate, to heal, and to support our communities. The more we smile, the better we live.
Events like this are highly of importance. I mean, it brings awareness to people that don't have this information or not really aware of what's happening out there. It brings people together from all aspects and really have that conversation, a real raw conversation, a human conversation, and how do we come together as a team, as a city, as a community.
Oscarine, where are you? Come on, baby, come on. Come on, baby. Thank you so much. Oh my God, beautiful. I know. So we were thinking, Oscarine and as we were sitting backstage, we were thinking about how much we are feeling right now in regards to you sitting out there. Because when you're running an experience, you have the experience of the adrenaline of getting people on and off stage, but it is the people out there that make it all worthwhile. And the energy and the kindred spirit and the love and the kindness that you have brought today has been unbelievable. So give yourselves a huge round of applause. Huge. And hug the person next to you. Do not breathe on them, but please hug them. Give them a big hug. Do not breathe on them. Big old hug, okay? And Oscar's going to say a quick thank you as well.
I am. How about those tacos? I came in here kind of skinny, and I'm leaving kind of fluffy. Before we get to my good friend Alex Montoya, I do want to say thank you. It's been a fun, great afternoon, morning. Let's give it a applause to all you guys. Tony, the speakers, you guys have been amazing. I think this for me is very important, very, very important. Like I mentioned earlier, that you know, I grew up in Oceanside, and this theater has a good warm part of my heart, and to have a mental health event inside of the theater that I used to sleep outside on, it shows the power of community. It shows the power of people, the power of just bringing love and togetherness. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do you want to introduce?
Yes. Come on, Alex. If you guys don't know Alex Montoya, I'm gonna be really, really mad at you guys right now. No, I'm just joking. This guy needs no introduction. This guy's amazing. Quick little story on this, if I may. There was a day that was kind of iffy, and there was a meeting on Zoom, right? And then you were presenting. I forgot what meeting it was, but it was the chamber, the Hispanic chamber. That's what it was, and I was just having an iffy day, whatever it was. And Alex came on, and he said, I think he said 3 words, and I just broke down. And he broke down not because of anything. It was just that I felt the love. I feel like you were speaking to me, man. And ever since then, I was like, dude, yeah, like you and me are rocking together the rest of our lives, man. So please give a round of applause to Alex.
Mic check, 1, 2, we're good? Oh yeah, love you, brother.
Yeah, love you, man. Thanks for being here.
Have one more round of applause for Oscarine and everyone from Lived Experiences. Can I also ask you to give one more round of applause as well? I want to say thank you to the translators, the sign language interpreters we've had. And the reason I do that, and thank you for all your hard work, is because a major part of mental health for those of us with disabilities is inclusion. So whenever we are included in something, it basically accelerates and increases our mental health, our sense of belonging. So thank you for facilitating that, and thank you all for making sure that we had that here today. How are you guys today? Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm going to close out today's presentation, so I won't be too long. When Oscarin first invited me to come speak, as he mentioned to you, I wasn't sure really what my overall purpose was. And first of all, before I go further, I'm going to have you do me a favor. Everybody, before we leave here, clear your throats. Clear your throats. A good. There you go. Let me clear my here you go. Clear your throats. Turn to the person to your left or your right and tell them you are where you need to be. Turn to the person to your left or right and tell them you are who you need to be. Now everyone look at me, if you would, and tell me I am who I need to be. Also tell me I am where I need to be. I believe that is mental health pretty much distilled in its purest forms. Of that peace of mind and knowing that I am who I need to be, I am where I need to be, and not allowing any of the other thoughts that come into our mind that might suggest to the contrary to creep into our mind. Mental health essentially is knowing your thoughts, knowing why you think the things you do, knowing why you feel the way that you do, being able to process the emotions that you have, and being able to process why you feel the way you do, how you feel the way you do, what you think the way you do, and how you relate it to others. Now, as I was beginning to say, when Oscarina and I met over Zoom, and it was through the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I guess just kind of in giving thoughts like that, he said, man, I got to have you come to this conference that we're going to do. And I said, but Oscarin, I'm not what would be considered a mental health professional. And I'll tell you who I am. My name is Alex Montoya. I come from San Diego, beautiful San Diego, East Village. Love being here in Oceanside. Big fan of Oceanside, so thank you for having me. I am a writer. I am a speaker. I am an immigrant. And I am also a person with a disability. How many of you realize that our mental health journey really begins the moment we're born? It really begins the moment we're born. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, and don't let anyone ever minimize when you emphasize mental health, because all mental health is our thoughts, our feelings, what has happened to us, traumas that we've had, experiences that we've had, all of that and more, and it begins the moment that we're born. Now, for me, a major aspect of that was the fact that I was born with my disability. Because of a birth defect, I was born missing both of my arms and my right leg. I wear prosthetic arms, I wear a prosthetic leg, and when I was 4 years old, I moved from another country, Colombia, South America, here to the US. Within that transition, I had two very important transitions. I left my family in Colombia, and I moved in with relatives that I had living here in San Diego. And like all other immigrants that come to this country from wherever, I had to learn a new language, had to learn a new custom, had to learn a new culture, had to learn where I fit in. And I got to tell you guys, I'm pretty proud of the life that I've lived because I've learned how to use my prosthetics and be independent. I became the first in my family to graduate from college. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. I became the first in my family to get a master's degree, and also, thank you, and also to work in the corporate world, be self-sufficient, be independent, and then launch my own business of writing about my experiences, speaking about my experiences. I have a table right outside. Love for you to come by. I'm very proud of all of those things. But my entire life, I have really seen that people are very quick and very gracious to say, you are an inspiration, you are a motivation. And I know they mean well, but how come no one ever stopped to say, how's your mental health? How are you doing? You inspire me the way that you move with your prosthetics and the fact that you overcome your disability. But how are you mentally? How is it in coping with your emotions and with your feelings? How come no one ever asked me those questions? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because I believe that as a country and as a society, mental health has been taboo for far too long. Far too long. And we've just now moved from not having it be a taboo subject to actually being something that we talk about and actually being something that we work towards. I'm here to encourage you all to have it be not only something we talk about, but to make it the number one priority of what we do. The number one priority. No matter what our field is, no matter what our background is, no matter what we do professionally or educationally or in service or any of that, it should be first and foremost in everything that we do. Obviously today, the main focus is public safety and security, and it should absolutely be at the forefront of everything we look at with security. It should be the thing that we think about the most, and for too long, we have not done that. But I look at today as a beginning. I look at today as a start. The fact that we are here today and talking about it and discussing it and sharing our experiences is a celebration. It's cause for celebration because we are finally taking mental health and removing it from the shadows and putting it at the forefront and saying we are going to make it a top priority. We are going to make it a top priority. So as you leave here today, and again, you go into your different fields and your different services and the different practices and all of our different missions on this world. Because how many of us know we're all here for a purpose, right? We're all here for a reason. That reason is to be able to serve others and to know how and where mental health fits within that. It's our emotions, it's our thoughts, it's why we think the things we do, why we feel the way we do, how we can control those thoughts and emotions, and how we relate them to others, how we treat others, and how we make the world a better place. You are who you need to be. You are where you need to be. And you are here making the world a better place. Thank you for your time.
I love him, and I don't even know him. I love him already. So I thought we'd give the audience a little bit of time to ask questions. Oscarine, get your butt up here. Oh, excuse me, was he not a speaker? Excuse me, excuse me. Right up there, there you go. He gets to sit in a little crappy wooden chair. There we go.
Okay, thank you. The question was, how do I know all these people? It's a beautiful thing, right? It's such a beautiful thing. I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I think it is that I love people. I love vibing with people. I love learning from people. And I beat myself down if I don't get to say hi to somebody or if I don't get to like ask questions, kind of get to know somebody. I'm the guy who goes around, it's kind of annoying. Like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Hey, what's going on? You know, and I'm always trying to offer burritos, but no one takes my burritos. Apparently, I'm the only guy who eats burritos around here. But I don't know what it is. I think I like to make it. I like to be inviting, or I like to be very open with people, and I think that really opens up this door of possibilities with me and others. And I think I just come across as a good guy. So I don't know why people like me. I still don't know. That's still a mystery. So, but thanks for the question.
Another question from the audience, so just shout them out. I love this.
What do you say to someone who has the misconception that there is a time frame for healing?
Yeah, if I may, I think it's a beautiful question because it's an internal process. And so it doesn't matter if I'm a mental health clinician, I have my own time to heal too. So it is really an individual experience and it's a process. And so you say, I'm going through the process that I can go through and allow people to really enable you to have your own experience because that rush is not going to be helpful. And so I think it's also validating not just what you hear externally and saying, I have to buy into this and hurry up and get better, but allowing yourself to take the time and create the resources you need to really take that journey. And don't let, as you mentioned, Antonia, don't let the insurance define your time frame.
Come on. Yeah.
I just add that, healing happens, we become more whole when we can fully face whatever it is. And sometimes those things are buried and only come up a little at a time because we're not in a place that's safe, a place that can really help us to face something that puts restrictions on it. You can face it for 50 minutes and then go. And so there are a lot of basic reasons that it takes more time. Is often we don't find ourselves in a place that is supported, that's safe, that we can face what needs to be faced and take that time. And that's the limitations, I think, of a lot of the current systems that are in place, that are intending to help, but in fact may really only kind of kick things down the road.
And also the system, for example, when you have a child who has been experienced abuse, okay, sexual abuse, and then you make an appointment for a counseling session, and they will tell you, okay, you have sexual abuse, I can give you only 6 appointments. Only 6? Yeah, that's what your insurance pays. And then after the 6, okay, you have to go all the way down to the waiting list because we have 200 people waiting. So I think the healing process starts when you accept that you need healing, number 1. And number 2 is as soon as you accept that you need healing, that you need help, it's a process. Everybody's different. It depends how old are you, depends what happened, and depends you have other issues behind that. So healing is different for every single person, and that's the way I think.
I agree. Who gave you permission to rearrange me? Certainly not me. I say that because there's different types of healing. There's different types of process. And I hear what my comrades are saying about health insurance determining how we get help. And I too have felt that frustration. And I've had to advocate for myself. And so I would say that every situation is different. There's different types of healing. There's spiritual healing. There is emotional healing, there's physical healing, there's all sorts of types of healing. And so I think when we prescribe what the end will be, it's a continuum. Because I can heal from this part, but then something happened. You may say something that triggers something, like, whoa, T, I didn't know that was there. And now I'm bleeding all over you. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm embarrassed. So it just depends. You get to determine that for yourself. That's the beauty. And the lights are dimming, so I'm talking too much.
No, you're good. I'm going to say something. And I keep telling this story. We rescued this dog during the lockdown from Mexico, and he'd been in a kill shelter, puppy, so he hadn't been outside. He was afraid of the outside. He was afraid of noise. He was afraid of everything. We couldn't touch him for a long time. The rock dog. Hard to believe, the rock dog, the rock dog. And so I hired a behaviorist. People laughed at me. And I said, well, my mom was a therapist. You can hire a behavior. I'd had dogs my whole life. Didn't know what to do with this particular trauma, this particular animal. But in America, everybody knows. My neighbors tell me what to do with this dog. The person on the street I would see tell me what to do. Everybody was an expert in America on the dog. But the darn dog was scared to death and I couldn't pet him, right? So I hired this behaviorist, and she does nothing but support and love and redirect his behavior. Support and love and redirect. And she tries to communicate with him. She tries to find out what he's saying to her. So she's worked with him for 2 years. I mean, you wouldn't know now. Oscar's, people who know me have been to my house. He gets a little crazy sometimes. He's an anxious dog. He's going to have lifelong anxiety, right? We're going to live with that anxiety forever. But it was a reminder of what we do with our children. With our children, we redirect them, we do a much better job with them. But then when people grow up, we don't do it anymore. We don't support each other in that way. We don't help people when they're having a bad day. We don't say, go home from work. It's too much. Work is too much for you today. Go home, right? We don't do that. So I think, you bring up such a big issue. We need to allow people to have process, wherever they are in their lives. So I don't know who was going to speak, but I just had to get in there.
I think somebody else had a question out there.
I would want to know, if you had a magic wand, what would you change about the current system that is currently in place?
I would make racism illegal. I would make racism illegal. 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 Right? It should be illegal to be racist in this country. Right? Go to prison. If you're a jerk, if you're just trying to mess up people's lives, go to prison. Right?
No, go to Truth and Reconciliation.
Oh, that's what it
Go
is.
to Truth and Reconciliation.
Let's
Come on now.
let's take that away from them. You know, I mean, in all honesty, this every solution, every problem that we have, every lack of education, homelessness, incarceration, even gentrification, everything's based on the idea of racism. Everything is. But we're so afraid to talk about it, right? We live in this bubble. Even in nonprofits, there's so much racism in nonprofits, right? I spoke about earlier when I was going through my transition, I was never good enough. I never fit the modality. I never fit the grant, right? I was only data. People love to talk to me. They still love to talk to me now. They're like, Oscar, how do you do what you do? Can I go pass out flyers in your community? I'm like, dude, leave us alone. Every politician, hey, I want to do some outreach. I want to know what's going on in the community. Bro, if you need me to help you get a vote, don't come around, brother. We don't need you. What the fuck? Right? But so like, I think we got to eliminate that. White people, we need help. But stop being white savior. Like, stop it. Feed me. Yes, feed me, please. But if I had a magic wand, I mean, oh, by all means, dude. It's 2020. What is it? 2022, and we're still talking about this. We know what the problem is, and that's where it is.